leadership is more than what people think typically. Leadership is a lifelong journey and it never stops, and you can learn from different cultures, from different disciplines. It's not about just helping your organization, it's about making a bigger contribution. And by doing that, finding more meaning, more purpose in your life.
What we went ahead and covered are 6 different perspectives, which allows us to go ahead and dissect complex challenges through multiple different lenses and help us come to certain conclusions about what we can do differently.
Here, what participants have told us is that they have been able to look at their challenges from fresh perspectives, from new perspectives they didn't even consider.
It's about opening possibilities to saying, how can I tap into multiple things, multiple approaches, multiple perspectives, multiple heroes which exist within me to go about reaching to these possibilities.
It's not easy to blend in these perspectives together, but the way Venkat, Philippe, Priya put these perspectives together through the use of multiple media was extremely powerful to make sense out of leadership as a subject.
How much more can you achieve if your team is at its physical best?
I'm going to be talking to you about the 5 elements of fitness, and it's my belief, and I know for sure that if you work on them, you will pick up skills to transform yourselves as leaders, as people, as human beings. Strength, endurance, flexibility, balance, and breadth. Okay? So the house of fitness, is not complete unless we pay equal attention to each of these elements.
Ensuring physical wellness of you and your team is very, very of paramount importance. And when I say physical well-being, I don't necessarily mean only from a physical fitment, but it's all mind and body and soul together.
We were talking about the backbending. It was also to do with how you open up to the world. Consciously added, differentiated between cardiovascular, flexibility, balancing, strength and breadth.
Food meditation, where we got in touch with our own selves as we enjoyed a wholesome meal.
We spend some time when we are eating, right? Is that the time which we can utilize in inner journey for ourselves? Take your time when you're serving your platter. Think of it like art. Look at this like there's an empty canvas and you are the artist and there are these colors onto the buffet and you make your own painting.
Nourishment and nutrition. Differentiating between the two is something I hadn't done in my own mind ever, and consciously looking at focusing on both.
I took the care to taste every vegetable rather than take everything together.
I would like to invite you to reflect on the patterns. When you were filling these sheets, you have come up with different situations. What are the typical styles that you use? If you look at the various situations, any style that you seem to use more than another?
At some point, if I can measure that, okay, I asked them certain questions and they come up with answers and they were appropriate and the results were good.
Then you know that you have succeeded. Excellent.
When you're managing and define day-to-day teams, the most important perspective I have found is that it's all about sharing, it's all about caring, it's all about listening, coaching, encouraging, structuring and telling. So all these put together actually make you a good manager.
I saw that asking, strengthen your people much better than just instructing them. So that is the biggest thing, the power of asking right questions.
In my operation, we are stuck day to day into what needs to be done. It is almost firefighting operation. We never had the chance to reflect and go above helicopter view and try to rationalize and analyze people's behavior, the weakness in the organization. This 3 days workshop really enlightened me from that perspective, that there are a structured way, there is system, there is approach, there is science behind management.
A very critical part of the realization that came was about not letting team dysfunction set into place, about not convenient harmony but constructive harmony.
Every conversation is a mutual exchange of value. Sometimes in teams, when you see unwillingness, it is because they have not seen the value add from your side. Pair up with another person whom you know the least. Let me ask you two, how are you similar and how you are different?
He is into fashion as a profession and I'm kind of just interested in fashion.
We find similarities in values. When we connect with people, it's the values that's the foundation for the relationship.
First of all, if we peel the onion and look at what is immersed, we see norms and values. Norm is what is considered appropriate or inappropriate. Coming together, realizing that differences are sources of richness. This is not about promoting uniformity. This is not about trivializing differences. This is about making the most of differences and realizing that we can achieve unity in diversity through the enrichment of differences.
This is pretty interesting, day one, where a lot of role plays happened.
Thanks to this cultural orientations framework, we now have dimensions that help us to articulate these differences.
In psychology, what we have done this time is explore a domain that is quite difficult. I'm talking about defense mechanism, and that has enabled a very rich discussion among people. I will not let myself express that anger. It may not be acceptable socially to express that anger, so I will express that anger in a more indirect fashion. In my religion, it's not appropriate to start flirting with a colleague, for example. I will get drunk, and so in that state, then I will engage in that behavior I would never consider if I wasn't drunk. And so that's called dissociation.
The use of aspects around psychology, around defense mechanisms, each of these nuggets was extremely powerful to make sense out of leadership.
I will learn to recognize the dramatic triangle. I will kind of walk away from getting into that.
It would be naive to think that we are going to eliminate politics. What you can do is replace a negative version by something more constructive. And to do that, we need to bring a second variable into the equation. Power gives you impact and leverage. Service is what is necessary to make politics constructive.
Politics, the first very simple lesson for all of us, is not a negative word in the system. You have to recognize that it is there and it is serving a purpose. How do we channelize that process in a positive manner?
My key takeaways, I want to work towards being the enlightened builder. Then you have the sources of power that you realize and which will help you work better in your ecosystem and build that stronger.
It's not about just helping your organization, it's about making a bigger contribution. And by doing that, finding more meaning, more purpose in your life. A fundamental question. I invite you to keep this in mind for a moment. What is your purpose?
At the end of the day, it's all about being a good human being. It's all about, from a spiritual perspective, understanding the objective of what you're doing, a purpose, and actually defining and giving yourself a purpose so that you are actually becoming a valued asset to the society, to the world around you, and to the teams and people around you in particular.
What am I like and what is it that drives me is very clear here now.
Recognizing the spirituality of the job that we are doing, it has brought about a lot of facets to leadership in life.
Use of theatre, dance, drama, for example, was powerful in helping us connect with our own emotions.
I find this a very powerful tool, the archetypes.
What is it that I can bring out as the warrior that will make me, my team, my organization successful? Everybody is showcasing vulnerability.
Instruction can be very constructive indeed.
What we have done here, bringing the dancer and giving people a chance to literally put themselves in the shoes, in the body of these different archetypes, it does make a difference, because what happens at the end is people have not only been engaged with their minds, but also with their hearts and with their souls.
What we have learned is it is just not looking through these 6 perspectives. It is about applying that knowledge in an experiential environment that helps us realize the power of looking through these 6 perspectives.
This has actually been like 3 days a journey of self-awareness.
So it's not all about you, it's about your ecosystem. How would you go back and actually implement these learnings, these insights within the team that you are managing, within the ecosystem, and trying to kind of share those insights and ensure that all people around you start following those.
And with my notes and that gift box, I think it's not going to go away for a long while, and hope not forever.
We have a very diverse audience. When we have diversity in the industries among participants, whether it be from information technology to something on the other side, which is about agriculture and aquaculture, to even fashion and tourism. So this blend of different industries, added on to the richness of perspectives, aided on by a series of experiences, explores the possibility of learning.
I don't need answers from you. I think I have the tools to find the answers myself. I think that was the shift in perspective that happened, where people were expecting some answers, but now they have some tools to get to the solution themselves. So that was really powerful through these 3 days of interactions.
We heard somebody say, I've lived what I've learned. No, I really get it. There is no substitute for going yourself through this type of journey. Going through the experiences, looking at yourself, learning from others, opening up.
The approach that we took in the program was to build readiness through an activity, because if people are not going to be ready to receive the knowledge for that particular perspective, they're not going to be able to apply it.
When people leverage their own potential and are able to unleash the potential of people in their organization, the result can be truly fantastic.
May your leadership transform the world around you